It was a day heavy with emotion and memory as the surviving members of Kiss, Gene Simmons, Paul Stanley, and Peter Criss, quietly reunited in New York to bid farewell to their fallen bandmate, Ace Frehley. The private funeral service, held in the Bronx, was attended by a small circle of family and close friends who gathered to honor the life and legacy of the man who helped launch one of the most iconic rock bands in history. Frehley, known to millions as the Spaceman, passed away on October 16th at the age of 74 in Morristown, New Jersey. His representative confirmed that his death was due to complications from a recent fall at his home, an accident that led to a brain bleed and ultimately claimed the life of the rock legend. The intimate service was not marked by the spectacle of stage lights or roaring crowds, but by tears, silence, and shared remembrance. For the original Kiss members, it was a poignant and painful reunion, one none of them could have imagined happening under such somber circumstances. The last time Simmons, Stanley, Criss, and Frehley had all been in the same room together was at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction ceremony in 2014. But this time, there were no instruments, no makeup, and no stage personas. Only the shared grief of saying goodbye to the man who helped define their sound and image. Longtime friend and SiriusXM host Eddie Trunk, who attended the funeral, shared emotional reflections after the service. Ace Frehley has now been laid to rest in the Bronx, NY. It has been an emotional couple of days to say the least, saying farewell to a rock icon and longtime friend, he wrote on social media. Trunk's words captured the weight of the moment, the end of an era for the band that once conquered the world with pyrotechnics, anthems, and painted faces. He went on to emphasize the intimacy of the event, noting, "All of the services went as well as they could and were attended by a small group of family and close friends, including the 3 surviving original members of Kiss." It was a final show of unity for a band that had weathered countless creative clashes and personal divisions over the decades. Those in attendance described a deeply emotional atmosphere. Stories of Frehley's humor, generosity, and mischievous charm filled the quiet room. One attendee said, "Even in sadness, everyone smiled when they remembered Ace's laugh or one of his pranks. He had that kind of spirit. He made you feel like the music and the fun never had to stop." For Simmons, Stanley, and Criss, the day was one of reflection and reconciliation. Whatever differences had once existed between them seemed to fade in the face of shared grief. The 3 men reportedly stood together near the front of the service, united not as rock stars, but as friends paying tribute to a brother who had shaped their journey. Frehley's passing marked the loss of not only a bandmate, but also one of rock's most distinctive guitarists. Born Paul Daniel Frehley on April 27, 1951, in the Bronx, Ace grew up in a working-class family with a love for music that would soon set him apart. When he co-founded Kiss in 1973, his electrifying stage presence and signature makeup design, representing a space traveler from another world, became a cornerstone of the band's identity. As the Spaceman, Ace brought cosmic energy and unforgettable riffs to hits like Shock Me, Cold Gin, and Detroit Rock City. His solos weren't just performances. They were explosions of raw melodic power that elevated Kiss into something larger than life. Off stage, however, Frehley was known for his easygoing charm and humor, endearing him to fans and fellow musicians alike. Though internal conflicts and personal struggles led to his departure from the band in the early 1980s, Ace's influence never faded. His 1978 solo album Ace Frehley became a commercial success, and his anthem New York Groove remains one of the defining songs of his career. Despite years of tension and estrangement, he remained forever linked to the name Kiss, and to the fans who adored him. In the wake of his death, tributes have poured in from all corners of the music world. Gene Simmons, visibly shaken, shared a heartfelt message online. "Our hearts are broken. Ace has passed on. No one can touch Ace's legacy. I know he loved the fans. He told me many times." His words reflected the complex but undeniable bond the 2 men shared, forged through years of triumph and turmoil. Simmons also expressed sadness that Frehley would not be alive to receive the recognition he so richly deserved at the upcoming Kennedy Center honors in December. "Ace was the eternal rock soldier," he wrote. "Long may his legacy live on." Paul Stanley and Peter Criss, also paid tribute in their own ways, with Stanley calling Frehley a visionary guitarist who helped change the sound of rock forever. Criss, often regarded as the emotional heart of the original lineup, was said to have wept quietly throughout the service, clutching a small prayer card with Ace's picture and the words, "Forever in our hearts." Eddie Trunk revealed that a public tribute show is now being planned to celebrate Frehley's life and music, with the full support of his family. "That's something I feel, and many others feel, is deserved and should happen," he wrote. The event, still in early planning stages, is expected to feature some of rock's biggest names performing in honor of the man who helped inspire them to pick up a guitar in the first place. Outside the Bronx funeral home, fans gathered quietly. Some dressed in Kiss t-shirts and others holding up homemade posters bearing Ace's image in his signature silver makeup. A few left flowers and candles, while others softly played New York Groove from their phones, a fitting soundtrack for the hometown hero's final journey. One fan, tears in his eyes, said, "Ace made us believe in rock and roll again. He was the guy who looked like he came from another planet, but really, he was just one of us, a Bronx kid with a guitar and a dream." For those who loved him, Ace Frehley was more than just a musician. He was a symbol of creative freedom, rebellion, and authenticity. His music, his laughter, and his wild energy will live on through every riff, every concert memory, and every fan who ever raised their fist to a Kiss anthem. As the service came to a close, those in attendance said a final goodbye. The casket was adorned with a single guitar pick engraved with the words, "Play Forever." It was a quiet gesture, but one that perfectly captured who Ace Frehley was, a man whose life, in every sense, was defined by music. Though the lights have dimmed and the stage has gone silent, the echoes of Ace Frehley's guitar will never fade. His legacy is immortal, not just in the history of Kiss, but in the hearts of fans around the world. For Gene Simmons, Paul Stanley, Peter Criss, and the millions who grew up believing in the magic of rock and roll, saying goodbye to Ace was like saying goodbye to a part of their own youth.